relationship like with money?
In what way?
Just in what you made a certain amount of money for a long time.
I don't think about it.
You don't think about it?
No. What I like about money is to not think about it. That's what I like.
Do you like spending it?
I like buying stuff.
Me too.
I have a nice car. Drove here. I drove a 69 Camaro.
See, but that's
like that.
different.
Yeah, I like that.
That's fucking different.
Yeah.
That's character.
I like fun stuff, but
Fun stuff.
for the most part, I'm not interested in it like as a goal. You know, what I like about money is not having to think about it. My friend Brian Callen said this to me once. He goes, real freedom is when you can go to a restaurant and not worry about what anything costs. He's like, everything else is bullshit.
It is.
And it really is. Everything
really
else is bullshit. When you can just go to a restaurant, get a nice steak, you know, order a bottle of wine, have a good time, and not think about the bill.
What I think happens is and be grateful for it. And to remind yourself to be that exists to be grateful for, and not be taken advantage of. And I think that's one of the hardest things about money/power, is you start treating things as if they're underneath you.
Ooh.
You know, where you go, God, I'm so glad I can go anywhere in the world right now and get a meal, and I don't have to think about how am I going to pay for this.
Yeah.
Am I going to be in debt on my credit card? But when you start saying, excuse me, I said 204 degrees, not 190.
Right.
Read my lip, you know, and you're like,
that's just gross.
It is gross, but it happens.
That's just taking advantage of this relationship that everyone knows, where service people have to be nicer than they really would be normally, like a regular person. So people
hoping for a tip, hoping for one of your many hundreds
it's
of
gross.
Thousands or hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's disgusting. It's a gross way to treat people. But some people want to get rich so they could do that to people. Maybe someone did it to them when they were younger, and they're like, I can't wait to do this to other people.
I mean, when you said nice car, and you were like, I thought you were going to say, I was like, oh, please no, like Lamborghini.
No, I don't have any of those.
And then...
No, I like muscle cars. I like old muscle cars. That's my favorite.
That's like me at 37 knucklehead. And people say, oh, is that an affectation? I know you're friends with Momoa or whatever. I go, no, man, I've been riding motorcycles since I was 3.5 years old.
They're fun.
They're not only fun. There's something on us. If you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is the only book that's ever been written that kind of gets close to the kind of spiritual place, if you're a true motorcyclist, whether you're riding with your son or whether you're riding with a grid of guys or whatever, that beautiful, thunderous hum, when you're in a group of guys who really know what they're doing and you're in absolute fucking sync.
Yeah.
And yes, your arms are up here and your arms are pretty numb at that point, but you're fucking soaring. You're an eagle on a fucking jet stream.
You ever heard Hunter S. Thompson you know that documentary they did, Gonzo?
Yeah.
In the documentary, the very beginning, he talks about riding a motorcycle
on
the Pacific Coast Highway.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it's fucking great. See if you can find that. He talks about riding a motorcycle, about like that the lines begin to blur.
Yeah.
And you're just on the edge, and how alive you are. It's a fucking
We don't have to get into this book right away, but they came to me, it's the only story that I wrote that somebody asked me to write for the book. And they were like, well, you're really into motorcycles, why don't you write a story about motorcycles? And I tried, and it was just bad, and everything I wrote was like so forced and bullshit. And finally I said, I can't do it, I'm not going to write it. And the minute I said I'm not going to do this, I started writing. It just kind of started to come out, and it's good.
Do you write by hand?
I do.
Yeah?
Mostly.
Do you feel more of a connection when you write by hand?
No, that's not why I do it. Because I'll write any which way, whether it's on the phone, whether, you know, I remember people saying, like, I write, you know, by hand, I handwrite because it's the way it used to be. And I was like, yeah, it also used to be under candlelight, which fucked your eyes up. You know
used to be people had slaves.
Yeah.
And also
you
can only get around by horse.
Paint on caves and shit. Why don't you go paint on a cave? Tell me a story.